Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Nishchita, and first up, Mandur has turned into a war zone quite literally. Last night there was drama galore as the villagers put their foot down and said enough is enough. Protests have begun once again at Mandur this morning. And local MLA Arvind Limbavali, accompanied by Bangalore in charge Ramlinga Reddy and Katte Satyanarayana, have visited the protesters there, trying to coax them to give them that brief margin period of 8 months. But the protesters in no mood to listen. Well, in fact, the locals who were angry with the fake promises of the BBMP and the government decided to take matters into their own hands and stop the garbage trucks last night. The cops resorted to force and arrested several villagers. Well, in fact, even as Mandur villagers continue to protest against disposing waste, the city-in-charge Minister Ramlinga Reddy has suspended 2 BBMP officials. The suspended officials are identified as Neelakanta, who is the Assistant Executive Engineer of Yelahanka Division.
ಅವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾವು 7 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ 12 ತಿಂಗಳ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಈ 4 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆದರೆ 1500ರಿಂದ 2000 ಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಟನ್ ಕಸ ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಂಡೂರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬಹುದು. ಮತ್ತು ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಸನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದು ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು 25 ಲಕ್ಷ ಟನ್ನು ತ್ಯಾಜ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ನಡೀತಾನೆ ಇದೆ.
Well, in fact, 2 BBMP officials suspended by the minister as well as the Bangalore in charge, Ramlinga Reddy. The 2 BBMP officials have been identified as Neelakanta, who is the Assistant Executive Engineer of Yelahanka Division, and Srinivas, who is the Executive Engineer of Bommanahalli Division. The visibly disturbed minister visited Vikasa Sauda today and instructed the officials who are deputed to the BBMP to return to their mother department if they are not interested in rendering service to the civic agency. Let's not forget that yesterday, Ramlinga Reddy had gone on to... Well, yesterday Ramlinga Reddy, while speaking to the media, had gone on to state that every possible effort is being put in by the government as well as the BBMP. However, when media questioned that the efforts are clearly not visible, as even in the last 1 year there was no effort made for the garbage to be segregated and then reaching the landfill or clearing out the landfill of Mandur and Mavallipura. Well, my colleague Harish joins us live from Mandur. Well, Harish, take us through the latest updates.
Well, Nishita, as we speak, the residents in the villages of Mandur have continued their protest, although 23 of their protesters were arrested late last night, and roughly around 1,000 metric ton of garbage was dumped in the landfill yesterday with the use of police force. Nevertheless, the Mandur villagers have continued their protest. They are saying that the police might have arrested a few of our protesters, but we still have people left in this village. We will continue our protest until such time that the government assures us that there will be no further dumping of garbage in the villages of Mandur. In the meanwhile, as you rightly pointed out, Ramlinga Reddy, the district in charge minister, has dismissed or suspended 2 officials. Also, he has sent out a stern message stating that if officials who are posted from a different department to the BBMP are not happy or do not want to work for the BBMP, then they can go back to their parent department. Remember, this has been a problem with the BBMP, with several of these officials deputed from other departments. These are officials who are not originally or who do not belong to the BBMP but just come on deputation, do not work effectively over there, resulting in such problems, Nishita.
Right, absolutely. And also, Harish, considering that suspending 2 officials is not going to solve the issue in any manner, has Ramlinga Reddy spoken about how this issue will be tackled, whether Mandur residents will be given some sort of a relief? Where will Bengaluru's garbage go? For the last 3 days, the garbage has not gone anywhere and are only piling up on the streets.
Well, Nishita, yesterday we understand that a few trucks, roughly around 1,000 ton of garbage, was dumped in Mandur with 4 Also, remember, there are two other processing units in Bengaluru which are not essentially a landfill, but they too take a small chunk of the garbage of Bangalore. But if this protest continues in Mandur, then the other two sites, that's one off Mysore Road and the other one on Doddaballapura Main Road, the Terraform site, these two will have to take the burden. Remember, roughly around 1,800 tons garbage used to be dumped in Mandur. So the BBMP will have to find out alternate for these, and they will have to decide if these other two plants can take the burden of this one, Nishita.
Right, and also as far as the protesters are concerned, this is the third straight day they are staging a protest. We understand that security personnel have also been stationed there. The police are present in large numbers. So are we looking at the situation probably going a little out of hand maybe?
Well, the villagers of Mandur are saying that we will ensure that it will be a peaceful protest and it doesn't turn violent. But nevertheless, the state government has posted a large number of security personnel over here. At the same time, keeping in mind that the protesters might erupt against the police, considering that 23 of their protesters were arrested yesterday, and the site of the protest too has moved closer to the landfill now. Remember, earlier it was near the village gathering spot. Now it has moved on to the gate of the landfill. So the police are also in a larger number to ensure that it doesn't turn violent, Nishita.
Right, absolutely. Stay with us, Harish. We'll come back to you for more details. In fact, 30 protesters who were agitating against the dumping of garbage in Mandur were arrested by the police and lodged in Anekal. The Aam Aadmi Party is protesting against what they call illegal detention of the protesters by the police. The Aam Aadmi Party leader Ravi Krishna Reddy, while protesting against the detention, entered into an argument with the sub-inspector on the matter.
Don't talk to me like that. You have no right to talking to me like that. Ravi, ಆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಏನ್ ಬಂದು ಗಾಡಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಹಂಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ತೋರ್ಸದ
ಸಹಕಾರ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸರು ತರಿಸೋದು ಏನು ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಕಾಫಿ ತಿಂಡಿ ಏನು ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ, ನಾವು ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಸುತ್ತ ನಿನ್ನವನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ರಾಜು, ನೋಡಿ ಕದ ನಿನ್ನವನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಕೀಪ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡಪ್ಪ ನೀನು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಬರಬೇಡ.
Well, Harish, now coming back to you, can you just take us through the kind of drama that ensued with the Aam Aadmi Party too getting involved in the protests? Well, Harish, if you can hear me, we understand that the Aam Aadmi Party has also joined in to support the protesters and are agitating against the police supposedly illegally detaining these protesters. Can you tell us more about that? Well, we'll get my colleague back on the phone line. But there we have it. On the 2nd of June, that is yesterday, the protesters were detained by the police officials. These were the protesters agitating against the dumping of garbage in Mandur. Let's not forget that the protest is only gaining intensity, and the police officials finally took them into custody. But in response, the Aam Aadmi Party came out today and demanded that the police officials release the protesters, as it is illegal detention. The protesters have done nothing wrong. They have only expressed displeasure over garbage being dumped in their village, and that is the reason why they have come out in the open. And there is no reason for the police officials to arrest them, as they were not causing any damage to public property. They were not causing any inconvenience except for stopping the trucks that have practically been poisoning their villages. Well, Harish, now coming back to you, can you tell us more about the tiff that ensued between the Aam Aadmi Party leader as well as the police, and also have the protesters been released now?
Well, we understand that the protesters haven't been released as of now, but the claim or the argument by the Aam Aadmi Party workers is that this is an illegal detention and the police cannot arrest them when they have sat on a peaceful protest when there was no violence. That's the stance of the Aam Aadmi Party, Mr.
Right, Harish, thank you for joining us with all those details. Well, there we have it. The Aam Aadmi Party as well as the police lock horns over the detention of the protesters. The protests are only gaining intensity in Mandur as the BBMP is adamant on a 6-month window, on an 8-month window, I beg your pardon, to dump the garbage, but protesters in no mood to relent.
ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ